Welcome to the Veterans Grown America podcast. I am here with my illustrious host, Donnell Johns, and y'all know me, Coach Rob. We have another amazing guest today. We have Mr. Arthur Toole. He is an Army veteran and the CEO of MegRelief. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. It is definitely a pleasure to be on here. I look forward to the conversation.
Indeed.
So, Arthur, I know you, but my audience needs to get to know you. Can you tell them a little bit about your military experience and background?
Sure thing. Army vet. I've spent 11 years in. The first 7 was in military intelligence. I was enlisted, then got out, went ROTC, came back in. And then my attempts to get finance, military intelligence, the good old Army thought, man, you make a great infantry officer. So they switched me over to infantry. So I kicked it around there for some years. And then at the time I was a single parent and I had my son with me. So I had to make a decision. I'd been gone from too many times. So I decided to go ahead and get out. And while it was the great decision, because my son is amazing, like we were saying before, I missed out on that retirement, but that's okay. That's where MegRelief comes in.
So let me ask you this. How did your military experience influence your journey in entrepreneurship?
Oh, goodness gracious. One of the things that I learned is exclusive in the military is that how you have to make decisions with incomplete data. You have to make decisions about people that's going to impact their lives. You have to make decisions about people who are fundamentally opposed to you, and you're still going to have to achieve the mission. All those things translated directly into entrepreneurship. You start off with this idea and you have all this optimism that it's going to take off, but you're unaware of all these hidden things that's going to set you back, going to derail you, distract you, and you have to navigate through all those things. It's through large part of the military that I'm able to traverse that. And even though I've had some setbacks, as all entrepreneurs do, I'm able to keep going because I know that if you keep going, doing the little things, those little things will add up. And I can attribute that to my military experience.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's 100% real. So tell us, what inspired you to start MegRelief?
So it's funny. It's actually my failed attempt to get back to military shape. When I was in the military, I was in good shape, and I left the military, went and got my master's, my MBA at Park Atlanta University, and then I went to banking. I ended up working at USA in Texas. So now I'm probably about almost mid-30s. And I decide that I'm going to play intramural basketball with people who were teenagers and 20-year-olds because I think I still got it, right? So I'm out there, I'm doing my thing, right? I failed to notify my knees, and my knees reminded me that you won the game, you lost the battle with your knees. I was done. So for 6 months, now imagine this now, I'm about 33, 34, but if you look at me from behind walking down the hall, you'd think I'm probably about 75 because I'm walking that slow. So I went physical therapy, doctors, x-rays, prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, creams. Nothing could get rid of the pain. And so my wife is from Grenada, and it just so happened at about the 6-month mark, she wanted to take me to see where her family was from. So I went there still limping, and my stepmother was like, hey, we got something that I think will help. I'm from the States. I'm like, the medical world in the United States is probably better than Grenada. When you're in real pain, you just like, you do what you got to do. She literally went into the kitchen, opened up the cabinet, pulled out an oil from the kitchen. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't going to work. I got to be nice because I got to make an impression. This is family, right? She rubbed it on my knees and boom, I was able to walk. I was able to jog. I was able to swim. And I was like, what in the world is this? And what I found out, it was the nutmeg from the island. Literally, they extracted the oil from the nutmeg, and they had been doing it for decades, if not centuries. It just wasn't here. And so from there, I was like, all right, we got something here, right? I brought a sample home. My mom had both her knees replaced, and I gave some to her. And she went from taking ibuprofen 4 times a day to using this oil once every other day. And I was like, all right, we have something. And that was in 2011. So now from 2011 to 2019, I'm trying to figure out how to make this work because in the United States, everything is complicated. You can't just go offer people something for pain. We figured it out in 2019. We made a version of it that was ours, that was even more potent. And we just kicked it off from there and just started launching. And so we connected with a bunch of physical therapists, and they tried it, they loved it. And then they've been our biggest partner, helped get us into different avenues and work with different people. But yeah, all because I pretended I was Jordan.
Yeah, that's hey, You got a customer with me already. That's all I needed to hear is, hey,
Right.
it worked. I use it, it worked. No, that kind of gets into the next question. We heard a little bit about your unique proposition of the business, but tell us a little bit more. Tell us what it is, where we can get it from.
Yeah, no, so thank you for the question. What makes MegRelief different is that it's 100% natural, like so no synthetic ingredients and no synthetic preservatives or anything like that. And why that's important is because a lot of drugs are out there. I don't want to get you all in harm's way, so I won't call their names, but a lot of drugs that you're taking, over-the-counter drugs, while they may reduce the pain, they can be causing long-term damage to your kidneys and to your liver. And no one reads those that stuff on the back, but it's a real problem. And then you have others that are topical, but they use the similar synthetic ingredients, and they can cause other like skin problems and things like that. Whereas if you just go all natural, you can avoid some things. So the only time you have problems with something that's all natural is if you literally are allergic to, say, nutmeg. But other than that, you don't have to worry about your kidneys. You don't have to worry about your liver. So you can get relief and preserve your body. And so that's the thing, right? And most people are not even aware of it because here in the United States, we get pain, we go to the grocery store, we buy a bottle, we consume it because that's what everyone else does. And then when we're 50 years down the road, we got problems with our kidneys, we don't know why. And so we're aiming to kill that problem. So that's why MegRelief is here.
That is so cool because everything, it seems like everything that's out there, you hear this 12 different things that it'll do for you and then 50 different things that it'll do against you.
Every time. You take one drug, yeah, it may give you pain relief, but you're gonna lose your eyes, right? Right. But literally every drug company, you see that. And so we want to just fight that because in reality, a lot of things can be solved with nature. A lot of things can be solved with just like lifestyle changes, right? And none of this is medical advice, everyone. Please consult your doctor before you change to do anything. I'm gonna safeguard you guys. But one of the things that let me know that, hey, you don't always have to pop a pill was I was in a car accident, and from that car accident, my blood pressure shot up 45 over 100, and it stayed up there for a couple of weeks. I went to the doctor, and the doctor, a new doctor, because I was new to the area, and they were like, I'm gonna give you these blood pressure medication, it's gonna take care of it. And I asked one question. I said, okay, if I take this, how long do I have to use it before I get off? And literally the doctor was like, she looked at me like confused. Like I was asking, when am I gonna get off of this? And then she said, don't worry about getting off. I mean, you're just going to be on it. I was like, my blood pressure is high because I think because of this car accident, I don't traditionally have high blood pressure. And she didn't want to hear it. So I sat him down. I went to a physical therapist, and the physical therapist, literally, the first question was, how much water have you drunk? I don't know. So before you do anything else, drink half your body weight in water, do that for 2 weeks and come back to me. For me, I didn't have high blood pressure ever since. And so it was like, now, before I pop a pill for something, let me just see, is it something that I'm doing in my own lifestyle that is impacting whatever this is, right? If that's not it, is there an alternative to what the doctor may be prescribing? And just ask the question to the doctors, because when I went back to my doctor, the doctor was happy for me, right? But you just have to ask those questions because it's easier to sell you a pill than help you find a solution.
I hope y'all listening out there because he just gave y'all a gem that will save your life. I know that he's not supposed to give medical information, but if you're having heart issues, you probably want to flush them out.
Probably want to flush it out. Like you just literally, what are you doing? What are you eating? How often are you working out? If you're not working out, can you at least go walk for 10, 20, 30 minutes, right? Push back on the soda, push back on the alcohol, push back on the added sugar. Like these things impact your life, right? And then it can cause you, a lot of your joint pain may be caused from these things, right? So if you do these things, you may not even need MegRelief. If you can eliminate, you drink a whole bunch of soda, you eat a whole bunch of sugar, these things can contribute to inflammation, which can contribute to joint pain. So before you pop a pill, try anything, try some lifestyle modifications with a doctor there, right? So ask the doctor these questions. What kind of lifestyle modifications can I do? And they'll tell you, try those and then try something else. We're just too quick to pop something because it's easier to do.
I love
and that's you selling a pain relief drug, right? Like it's just do the holistic thing first and then adjust from there.
No, I love that. Good stuff. So we're going to transition a little bit into a question about you transitioning from the military into the business world. Did you transition into the business world or how did that come about?
So I transitioned right into grad school. I knew that I wanted to be in banking. My goal was I'd leave the military, because since I didn't get into finance, I wanted to leave the military, get my MBA, and then 10 years own a bank. That's what I wanted to do. I thought that I can own Bank of America. No, it was Wachovia in 10 years. I used to be the CEO. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. And Wachovia is no longer here. But I knew that I loved numbers. I knew I loved finance. I knew I loved banking. And so I made that transition. And going to an HBCU was the best thing for me, because while I had the leadership skills from the military, I didn't have the fundamental skills that would make me a good like corporate employee, like understanding basic things that most like you guys already knew. And so that MBA helped bridge that gap. They also taught me about how to perform and conduct myself in corporate. It's not just simple work really hard. Relationships matter. How you perform things matter. And so that was my bridge. And then I went straight to city. I worked in Chicago, and I worked in New York. And then I ended up moving to Texas, stayed there in Texas. And then I was like, I have that bug for entrepreneurship. And then I had to make that leap. And it was 5 years of pain after that, like 5 years of pain before I finally found my stride. But it was worth it. It was really worth it.
So what is one thing that you took away from the military that you have absolutely implemented in your business structure?
So if you ask me at different seasons in my life, I would give you a different answer. In this season, I'm being reminded the importance of delegating and then effective communication, right? And as entrepreneurs, we have everything inside our head, right? And we think everybody should understand what we're saying when we hadn't effectively communicated everything that we needed to. And then we're frustrated with them while they're not following what we're saying. So for me, it's okay. They're not in my head. They don't know what I'm thinking. And they may not be as passionate about MegRelief as I am. So you have to be deliberate and intentional. And then you have to communicate to them in a way that inspires them to actually want to do it. Because I've learned paying somebody more money doesn't make them work harder for you. You have to get them bought into the vision. And those are the things that I learned in the military. Because in the military, we're telling these people, hey, you may die, but I need you to give me your all anyway. And the most effective leaders were able to gather everybody and keep us focused on the vision. And you have to do that same kind of thing in entrepreneurship.
Let me ask you this question. What's your biggest win? And when it comes to MegRelief?
So my biggest win, again, it's crazy when you ask it, just depending on the season. My biggest win actually just happened. We got into a major physical therapy clinic in Atlanta. And that literally just happened. And you can't count anything until the check clears. It's the deposit cleared, and it was like really cool, because that's something I've been wanting to do. I've had ones and twos, physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, but never an entire clinic. And then this clinic actually reached out to me because they saw me 3 years ago. And they were like, we want to replace what we're doing, what we have with what you had. And then they were like, they started introducing me to doctors that are in that same area. To date, that's the biggest win. I've had others. I've won pitch competitions. I've had great experiences at farmers markets, vendors markets, and stuff like that. But to have a clinic reach out to me because they saw me years ago, they looked me up and they was like, yeah, we like what you're doing. We like what you're building. We want to be a part of that. That brought me the greatest joy so far.
It's dope.
Yeah.
So I come in contact with entrepreneurs all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to share with them, because they're watching right now. They're going to watch when this airs. One bit of business advice that you would share with them once they get started.
It's going to take twice as long, cost twice as much. You're not going to get it done in a year, but you'll be amazed at what you can get done in 5, 10, 15 years. Don't look left and right, because most of the people that you think are ahead of you are not. You're just seeing what they want you to see. Stay focused on the mission, on what you're trying to accomplish. Keep your head down. Treat people right, because relationships matter more than your product. If you can do those things, the rest is just about whether or not you have the will to not give up. I think we've been misled on what entrepreneurship is and what it takes. You really need a community. Like, just from you, Donnell, there's been times where you've had to check me, like, dude, what are you doing? You claim you're serious. Why aren't you doing X? And if you notice, I'm posting every day, not because of you. But you have to, in addition to those things, you have to have that community. You have to have that community, because you're not going to feel like doing all the things that are required. Like when you're working in corporate, you do one thing. Like I was data analyst, I was a marketer, finance, you were this. But when you're that entrepreneur, you're everything, right? You don't make enough money to hire, but you've got to get the stuff done anyway. So you have to learn how to prioritize and delegate when you can, and then commit to the task. And just know that this is going to take at least 5-10 years before you start seeing some movement. I know that's way more than you asked, but it's just, those are the things I wish somebody would have told me. Because when I started, I was telling my wife, in 1 year, we're going to be here. Nah, that's not how this works, dude. In 1 year, you're just going to be 365 days away from where you started. That's just it. But if you commit to the task, stay focused on the solution that you're trying to give and not fall in love with the product that you're offering, because the solution will keep you in business. The product itself may change. So like I sold MegRelief when I first started, which was a spray. We offer MegRub, which is the cream, and that's what people are preferring now. And so I didn't fall in love with MegRelief. I fell in love with giving pain relief, and that's why we're still in business. So if they can do those things, they'll be all right. The rest is just time.
It's funny that you said that, because I reposted something today, and it said that Nokia started out selling toilet paper.
Yo, I did not know that. Toilet paper?
Toilet paper.
Huh.
I was like, toilet paper.
Mm.
And so if you do the history on a bunch of companies, they probably started out as one thing, but they ended up being something else. And so that was great advice. I didn't mean to put toilet paper in there, but
no, but it makes sense, right? But we just we're narrow-minded as entrepreneurs, especially us doesn't have all these money and following and stuff like that. We want to sell our product. No, you want to be the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Make adjustments necessary to meet that, to be that for people. It's like what you're doing with VGA. Like you started one way and now you're expanding because you're understanding like, hey, I'm doing these different things. And I know you're going to take off for it because you're already taking off for it. I know I've benefited by being with VGA. So it's just, you're focused on the solution, and that's what matters.
It's funny that you said that, because we went from a pop-up to a pop-up store to a retail store. And then now we're going to open up a retail store, because guys like you don't like going outside. And so if you can get your product on the shelves at a store collectively, and we could sell our products together.
Absolutely.
It's a triple win.
But if you was focused and stuck on being a pop-up, you would have missed out all this opportunity. Right. And that's the difference from being, just product driven to solution driven. Right. And that's it. Those are the people that stay in. That's how you go from toilet paper to phones to electronics.
So my final question. So how do I want to say this? I guess tell people about your experience with VGA.
Oh, shoot. My experience with VGA is funny because for those who know me, like really know me, they're like, Arthur don't like going outside. Once you get me there, I'm really social, but I like being at home with my family, and then that's it. And Donnell, you're coming out, and I had no problem supporting, but just putting my business out there, it was like, But once I did, we sold out of everything that we had that day. And I can't remember that because I was preparing that for this. I think it's 20% of and this was in either 2020 or 2019, 20% of those that bought from us that day are still buying from us today.
Wow.
And this is with me not knowing how to market via email. So I sucked at that. This is with me not doing texting or anything like that. I was at VGA, people were there, we had the solution, and some of them are still, like years later, they still buy from us. Right? And that's the power of VGA. And it even extends beyond that, because VGA gave me the community of veteran entrepreneurs, right? These are people who have the same experience as I have, and they're starting in the same kind of level that I am, and you all welcomed me, right? So it was like, oh, you're doing this, you should try this. You're doing that, you should try that. And that was one of the best things, because in other areas, people try to hold on to the little bit of information that they have, not knowing that everybody shares information, like all the tide lifts all ships, and VGA is different in that regard.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it on to Rob to close us out.
You already know I love getting busy. Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here, first of all, I want to thank you for being on the show. Great information. I got my notebook ready and and I'm about to be standing in line soon. Yeah, shameless plug, man. Tell us how to get a hold of you, how to get a hold of the product.
Look, thank you so much. MegRelief is everywhere. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So you go to MegRelief, MEGRELIEF. So MegRelief.com, and you can come there. If you're a spray type, you want something to spray on, rub it in, we have that. If you're a cream type for your pain, we have that. If you want to just soak in the bathtub and get pain relief on your whole body, we even have bath bombs for you. So we got something for everybody. And for fellas, if you want to massage your wife's feet, I got a foot soak for that. You can soak her feet first, make her half sleep, then you massage her feet. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Okay, we got all of those. So just go check us out at MegRelief.com.
And do you have any last words for the listeners?
If you are an entrepreneur, just know that you're solving a problem for people. It is a thankless job. It's not like what they're saying on social media, but stay with it and get plugged in with VGA, because you have a community that understands you and wants to support you. This is not just lip service. I've known these guys for years now. And one thing I can say about Donnell and VGA, they are consistent in their focus in helping others. So get plugged in. Don't do it alone. The worst thing you can do is just do it alone. You have a community, join the community.
Much appreciated. And Donnell, how do folks support and continue to support VGA?
So several different ways. The first thing I need y'all to do is follow us on social media. Find your favorite social media platform, type in Veterans Growing America, and hit the follow button. That's the first thing that you need to do. After you see what we're doing, how consistent we are, I need y'all to become a member of our organization. Once you become a member and get plugged in, the rest is history. Our goal is to take you from pop-up to on our shelves, and then on our shelves in different stores all throughout the United States, but also get plugged in with those that care about you and that want you to succeed. And then when you come to see us, if you're a civilian or want to just support entrepreneurship, come by one of our 2 locations, one in Woodbridge, the other one in Clarksburg, and come out and shop, baby.
Yeah, baby. We are over and out.